Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. I'm your lovely host, Calvin, and I hope you're all doing well today. So, this game is, I don't know, how do you call it? A Total War style game? It's got turn-based turns, as well as real-time combat, as well as a bit of a naval engineering shtick to it. We will be playing as the Admiral of a fleet. Now, and I want to highlight that specifically. We are playing as the Admiral of a fleet, or the head of the Admiralty, if you will, of a nation. We will not be in full control of the nation. The army is an entirely separate branch with entirely different rules. They will be outside of my control for the most part. I get to organize naval invasions. And also, God knows what the hell our political leaders will do. I don't. Because, again, we are just the head of the Navy, nothing more. Unfortunately, this game does use copyrighted music, so you'll hear the Hearts of Iron 4 soundtrack in the background, to which I apologize for. So, with that in mind, we're going to start a new campaign. We have the usual World War II nations, as well as Spain. We can start anywhere between 1890 and 1940. I'm going to be playing as Japan because they have the worst possible start. Like, they are behind everyone else by a large margin. And so it's kind of like an added difficulty without, like, necessarily cranking the difficulty up a bunch. But, yeah. And finally, actually I will crank the difficulty a little now. That's probably good enough. And AI, we'll go with create our own fleet. AI opponent will be historical. And yeah, use the fast, so that way turns go by faster. The AI can spend quite a long time designing its boats, unfortunately. So, with that in mind, we can kind of just get started. I had another campaign here where I realized that this game uses like copyrighted music, and so the audio from the previous campaign kind of had to get thrown out. So I'm like, well, you know what? That was just one episode. Let's get a new one. So full disclosure, this is my second time. You know? Oh well, that's okay. That is okay. But yeah, I actually have a lot of good things to say about this game. In that, fleet creation, yeah. In that it's actually one of the few games that actually can correctly, like, kind of simulate multiple, I don't know, combat eras, shall we say, and the transition between them. You know, if you think like EU4 or Crusader Kings, the combat is almost kind of like a slice of time, and it doesn't really change a whole lot. It's not really representative. You know? Victoria 3 is especially bad for this, with like these weird static front lines that don't make any sense at the start of the game. They're just like, well, this is what war was like in 1914, so we'll just take it and run with it. Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts actually manages to kind of simulate the Ironclad Age, as well as the transition to the Dreadnought Age. There's a couple of holes, like, although there are submarines, they are not really in the game as far as I know. They might be now. It has been a little while since I last played them, but I don't think submarines actually work yet. You know? Uh-oh. How do I get out of this? Well, I guess I'm stuck in the ship designer now, or wherever. Can't... Oh, no, it's world. Okay, yeah. The world tab. Yeah. So keep that in mind. And also, there will be no aircraft carriers. So, although this game does technically go, I think, until 1950, it's not great on that part. There's a reason I don't say that it simulates the post-Dreadnought Age very well. Because, you know, around the time that we started developing, like, modern-ish submarines and planes in the 20s, and we started getting aircraft carriers, started to change war and naval war a lot. I think they are actually trying to work on it. And I understand why it can be such a challenge to implement, so I assume that someday this game will get those. The game is still in active development. They literally, I think, just launched a multiplayer mode. I haven't tried it out yet, though. So, I'm going to pop open some tabs here now, without trying to, like, break anything. We have the Politics tab, which shows all of the nations, at least the major nations. There are also a bunch of minor nations, and we'll get to those, as well as various stats. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom here. Here's us. We suck. You know? The US and Spain suck a little bit less, and look, the Royal Navy has 7 battleships just rolled out already. Now, to be fair, they're pre-Dreadnought battleships, so I'm not really sure I want to call them battleships. I think I'd prefer to call them ironclads, as well as 15 armored cruisers, 21 light cruisers, and 33 torpedo boats. We're at least on friendly terms with the Brits, which is nice. Yeah, we have our 2 historical enemies in China and Russia. I don't think I'll actually go for either of them right away. Yeah, probably not. I think actually the first one I want to go for is Spain. Spain has the second lowest GDP, has a lower GDP growth than me, so I'm actually going to catch up towards them. They are one of the few nations I think I'm actually going to have enough ships to defeat. They have 74,000 total tons. Theoretically, the Americans are also pretty light with only 59,000 total tons. But I'm a little more worried about the US and its ability to scale. With its larger population, incredibly high growth rate for its GDP, and so on. So, we'll be cautious. It also produces oil, where honestly that doesn't really matter yet since all of our ships still run on coal. We can also see the Army and Navy budgets, which are a percentage of our GDP, which will become more apparent here. So, I get, our naval budget is 6.695% of the GDP, I believe, giving me a monthly naval budget of about 41 million. Okay, simple as that. So, first for our business, max out transport capacity, nuke our crew training, and honestly just run the tech budget as hard as possible. Let's maybe go with that. I also want to build additional shipyard. This is one of the most important things, and I must always remember to do it. Because increasing the maximum tonnage of the ships that I can build, and also the total shipbuilding tonnage, is important. It will be 5 to 10 years before I can start rolling out pre-Dreadnought hulls that will be pushing 20,000. Like, I need to be kind of on top of this. Yeah. Speaking of which, we have research. Ooh, new structural steel. Well, I do want to research hull strengthening. Oh my god, I start with 11 months to rangefinders? Wow, I rolled good today. 6 months to rangefinders. Do I even want to build ships at the start? This is a little bit, like, randomized, so we'll see. 13-inch guns there. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to design a ship. Well, I'm going to design but not build a ship, because I think I do need a ship design in order for certain things to occur. But I think I'm actually going to spend, like, the first year without a navy. That sounds like it's incredibly risky, but it's not really a big deal. So this is the naval designer, for the record. What I'm actually just going to do is, I know we have an AI designer in here somewhere, or like a way to, yeah, auto design, which will just build a ship. You can see it's got all kinds of little cute casemate guns. It's got its big guns. Seriously, game, you think the dual barrels are good? God, ugh. Anyway, I mean, it's fine. I don't care. I'm not actually going to build this. I just need one that exists. Basically for bureaucratic purposes, which is fine. But I'm just going to honestly start the campaign. I'm not building any ships. Yeah, that's fine. The ships that I will just be able to design in 12 months will just be so much better because of the existence of rangefinders, as well as 3-inch guns, or 13-inch guns. Hull strengthening will eventually lead to new, like, heavy ship designs as well, so that's kind of a thing. Yeah, turn traverse speed, that's really it. Voice troops with wind whistles, ooh, that'd be good too. Alright, so I am just going to let time tick. This isn't a thing where, like, I have to worry about them declaring war on me on turn 1. War is basically a mechanic and fully represented as such. In order for war to break out, we need to have our relations with another power reach -100. That is highly unlikely to happen. You know, relations will actually just kind of naturally decay with everyone, which is fine. The Suez Canal is now accessible for all ships. Bosporus, Dardanelles, Danish. Yeah. The Straits activate since the first turn. And we're just going to be chill. You know, it's 1890. The Koreans and the Austro-Hungarians signed a alliance, yeah. The Russians are driving some ships past. Yeah, there's no, like, surprise attack mechanic, so I don't have to worry too much. There are, you know, ports. Interestingly, Hong Kong is not a British port. I guess to be fair, they really probably do have to nerf the British. They do have a lot. Britain's already kind of just on top, you know? Alright. So yeah, 5 months to rangefinders, and rangefinders are just so good. Rangefinders are just so good. Wow, Austro-Hungary went bankrupt in 2 turns. Or 3 turns anyway. That's impressive. I can't afford to go bankrupt. I lose. The AI can just do whatever the hell it wants, though, admittedly. Oh, wow, Germany's increasing tensions with us. What jerks. Alright, so I'm going to rein in our tech budget just a little bit here. As much as I want to have it higher, we functionally can't afford it. Everyone manages to go bankrupt. It doesn't hurt us, so... Yeah, everyone's increasing tensions with us because they see us as weak. Ironically enough, that changes very little. You know? Portugal, Romania and the United States, sure. Gun cotton. There's a lot of little minor ones, like different shell types, as well as like some major ones. Like the first rangefinder you research is super helpful. You know, an optical device that measures the distance of a targeted ship. Using a single eyepiece, the viewer adjusts the lenses until 2 reflected images become a perfect match. Yeah. But, as you may have noted, it gives 5% base accuracy to our guns, as well as 70% faster aiming. So, that is actually very helpful. Now, you're going to notice a lot of question marks here. It's worth noting that. Better boilers. We only discover what we're researching once it's at 67%. Alright, 2 months. I'm going to want 13-inch guns. The larger the gun, the more accurate it is. And in this era of ironclads, our guns are garbage. Like, especially in their rangefinders. There's a fun fact, actually. In the American Civil War, 2 ironclads literally shot at each other for hours, and neither of them sunk. That is just this era that we deal with. And kind of a fact of it, really. So. Well, Russian Empire demands stop naval activities near their border. We have no... Bruh. Refuse to comply. Go to hell. Alright, well, I got the 13-inch guns, so. Combined with all that, though, I think it's time to have a new design and actually start floating them. Alright, so yeah, we don't have a whole lot to choose from at this point. I can maybe balance or unbalance the rudder, depending on whether or not I want, you know, faster turning rate, or, you know, like better acceleration, lower engine weight. Anyway, as I said, we are in the era of ironclads where armor is actually really king. So I'm going to get our compound armor. Iron plate armor is basically cheap as balls. It weighs very little. But notably has that minus 25% strength. Compound, basically, you know, neutral. And has plus 35% armor strength. Like, I am going to be throwing a lot of armor on this bad boy, including a citadel. So if you don't know what a citadel is, I can divide the boat basically into four zones. There's the fore, the aft, and the center line. Well, not center line, but like the midship, if you will. Inside the midship, there is a second sort of armored pocket, roughly around here. That is where our fuel, our ammunition, our basically dangerous shit is stored. So the citadel armor gives me minus 10% engine damage chance from penetrating hits. Minus 15% ammo detonation chance. You know? Gives a lot there. Gives a lot. On that note, bulkheads maximum good. Just in case. So we're going to really crank up armor here. A lot of this stuff is going to be shorter range, so expect it to hit along the sides more than on the deck. But honestly, if at all possible, I have no qualms about maxing out deck armor. Ah, damn. That has consumed, I think, literally all of the available weight that I have. Or no, I have 11,000 tons. That's fine. Yeah. And I haven't even started on some of this yet. Let's get the draught nice and low. This makes it sink a lot easier, but gives our guns more accuracy. And I think a larger beam, yep, will help as well with that sort of thing. Now I unlocked 13-inch guns, so that'll help. The base accuracy on these at 1,000 meters is 20%. So as I was saying, they're fucking garbage, quite frankly. And, you know, put as much armor on the inner deck citadel as we can. Yeah, we're gonna have to take off some armor. You know? Like maybe only 5 inches of deck armor. 2 inches of superstructure armor, which affects the coning towers and funnels and stuff. And it's really just so small things don't kill it. That gets us a little more to work with. Alright. Now, I'm going to use a single barrel gun because I'm not a lunatic. Honestly, I mean, 13-inch shells already deal a lot of freaking damage, man. You know, I would much rather have them actually score hits. And also, I think the reloading time becomes absolute garbage, yeah. It adds 50% to the reload time to put a second barrel on it. So while you might have more shells in total, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, you know? I do kind of prefer the single barrel. On that note, I need a main tower, which we'll put about here. Minimal tower? No. Full tower. Alright. And we are going to want the Coincidence 1 rangefinder, which will help. Help a little bit more. Yeah, it gets us basically 2% extra accuracy. I don't know, should I do the double guns? They also just consume so much more ammunition. No. Hold on, I have to go shift to go off of the exit points. Jesus, yeah, there's very little room that I can actually get this in. And that might actually still be a problem. Because I'm going to want to actually increase the gun caliber. I can legally go up to 13.9-inch guns. Okay, good. That still has a firing arc. Which gets the accuracy up that little bit more. So, that's something. On that note, I am going to want enhanced turret reloading. I'm also going to go with light shells. A reduced shell complement on these guns. And all guns, really. Alright. Reduced shell complement dramatically reduces the chance that you explode. Alright. So, I mean, it helps a little bit and gets us to 21 to 23%. God. Unfortunately, we don't really have a lot else. We don't even have smokeless yet. I don't know. I'm really hesitant to go with the double barrels. But... alright, I'm gonna do it. Might be a terrible idea. But yeah, so this big fat old battleship, it's good shape now. We do need to put some funnels on it. And ideally, is probably going to need a lot of funnels if we can get it. Like, how many funnels can I slap on this bad boy? Probably nowhere near enough. Yeah, 33% engine efficiency. It doesn't really shock me all that much. And, like, I'm going to try and get some more room, but I doubt it's going to work out super well. Yeah. I could do away with a rear tower and put another funnel in, but that would dramatically reduce my ship's accuracy. Like, it gives +3 base accuracy to HUV. So. You do need a main tower. That one's not optional. But, yeah, these are the big honkin' guns we got. Oh, I literally just deleted that. Whoops. There we are. But, yeah. These things will pretty much be the other battleship deleters. We have increased accuracy against other battleships, so it's less of a problem. And then we have casemates to worry about. So casemates are built into the hull of the ship at various hard points, which makes them kind of suck, but also kind of really hard to destroy. It also kind of like makes them light and cheap, relatively speaking. God, I have 4,000 over still. My maximum friggin' weight here, or displacement. Ooh, there we are. I got a little more length to work with that way. Hang on. Changing the size of the ship always kind of has questionable consequences. We can get an engine efficiency of 40% if I do that. Come on. Yeah, not great. And I doubt I can fit the dual funnel in here. Well, I just took out a casemate. So we're definitely going to have to use, I think, just this pair of funnels. That's what we get. That's our lot. Our engine efficiency will be absolute garbage, and that's life. Unless... no, there's nowhere. Well... move that farther out. You never know. Sometimes you gotta play around with these a little bit. No. That's fine, though. I keep hitting escape to, like, cancel, but it just opens the damn menu. So I apologize that just keeps happening. Alright. Let's put in those casemates again. We also do have secondary guns that I can slap on this. If I actually look... 4 inchers, maybe? 3 inchers? No. Sometimes there's also, like... I'm mounting things. Okay. I just had to click again to get them. Okay, so it's 3-inch guns. Yeah, there are these 3-inch guns I can place. Yeah, those have really a good firing arc. I'm looking for anywhere else I can basically just slap some guns down. The general answer seems to be no. Not really. That's okay. There's a lot more parts here, like barbettes, but a lot of this isn't even really unlocked yet, so... fuck. Just deleted something. The problem with right mouse button just being the delete... was it a casemate? It was not a casemate. Was it a secondary gun? It was not a secondary gun. Well, crap, I have no idea what I deleted then. Hopefully it wasn't important. I'm going to dramatically reduce its range. I'm not looking for anything close to long-range operations. And what's the minimum speed I can put on this thing? Honestly, it's kind of tempting. It dramatically improves my engine efficiency. So, like, making these just slow as hell might be a winning strategy. You know? Standard AP shells, yeah. Alright. Still need to do a little more here. Unfortunately, I can't increase the length of barrels right now. But still, I'm going to increase these as much as possible. So, that should help their accuracy, since bigger guns are more accurate. I'm not actually sure why that is. It might be because of, like, higher shell speeds and stuff like that. But, yeah. Alright. Shells have more inertia. That seems strange. Numbers have been dramatically altered. Was it because I did something? It might be because, like, I added a second funnel, or added funnels at all, because I think I was looking at that originally. Yeah, that's right. That would do it. Funnels, because of the smoke they generate, absolutely kill your accuracy, among other problems. All right, so 5-inch on coning tower barely makes a dent. Apparently I can get more armor here. Like, I do want... Like, if I reduce the deck weight, I think I'm going to have to bring down the armor. Honestly, even more. To bring it within weight limits. This is less armor than I'd like, but... It's one of those, really, what choice do I have until I complete the shipyard upgrades? I put a lot of guns on this thing. Maybe I should actually peel off the casemates and secondaries. Go with heavier armor and build a screen. Because that's always a good option. But, on the other hand, in this era, it's actually not too bad. Like, this thing could probably tank multiple torpedoes and still be floating and be fine. That's not really a probably. I don't think there is a single torpedo out there that can sink this ship. Especially in this era, torpedoes suck. You know? Oh shit, that's casemate armor. Oops. Alright, yeah. Well, that's okay. Natural boilers, cool, steam. Like, I don't want to give up on any more armor. I just need to give up on like 700 tons. 1-inch superstructure. I don't have a choice. I really do have to bring down this friggin' armor, don't I? No, maybe not. Well, probably. Yeah. This thing's really gonna be more of a gun turret than... I started out by saying armor is the most important thing. I'm like, well, I could just give it all up for more firepower. There's tempting to that. These things do have nearly twice the weight. Like, if I just swap it out, I get so much more armor. It's actually kind of tempting for me to do it. Like, the extra accuracy is also nice. But I think for the sake of weight, I do have to swap these out. I want to try out double barrels, because usually I shy away from them. And, you know, every now and again I have to go back and be like, oh, so this is why I shy away from them. Yeah, that makes sense. Because they're heavy as balls. And, like, there aren't really as many benefits as you'd like for there to be. Alright. The 4-weight. Hang on, can I offset this at all? Basically, no. Or, oh yeah, it's heavier in the front, right? Okay. So we can do 9-inch main belt. That's pretty good. This is definitely not great armor, but like, I think it's the best I'm gonna get for now. Which kind of makes me also not want to build. The problem is any ship I start building will just be obsoleted so quickly. This ship class actually has a maximum displacement of 15,000 tons. My shipyard is a little over a year from being able to build that. So, that's the problem. You know? In addition to some other techs I'll still pick up in the near future. So it's tough for me to be like, yeah, I'm just going to build that. I don't really want to, necessarily. Because it's just going to be, like, outclassed so quickly. Maybe that's okay. Oh well. Thank you everyone for watching the first episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Tune in next time where I'm probably actually going to build a navy. And maybe if I'm lucky, go to war with Spain. No promises. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm Naval, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, folks. Have a good night.